Hey Moon Magic Super Souls, welcome back to the channel and welcome to today's readings. Today is Sunday and that means that I am asking Spirit for a message for you that you need to know about right here and right now. I ask this every Sunday and we also draw additional cards if it's relevant to your sort of initial message. We draw additional cards to find out about the next 7 days, what's happening in the coming week for you. Will your spirit team give you the heads up? So let us draw 3 cards together. This is for pile 1. This I'm seeing for pile 2. And yeah, it is that one. Yes, that's the one. Okay, so these are our 3 cards and we're going to turn them over, and the timestamps will be in the description box, so you can just tune into whichever one is speaking to you, or more than one if you wish. I'm also going to draw runes and charms as well. So for pile 1, you have plant medicine, and this is the card of truth. Okay, so that's pile 1. Pile 2, you have conch shell, calling. Beautiful energy. That's for pile 2. And pile 3, you have the East card, emergence. And this is your card. Okay, let's take out some runes and some charms. Okay, so pile 1, you have 2 hearts being bound together, and you have the rune of partnership as well. Oh wow, this is Gibo, the rune of partnership with 2 hearts. Okay, plant medicine, truth. I'm saying no more at this stage. Okay, pile 2. You are having the little charm just slipped out of my fingers. You have the rune of harvest for pile 2, and you have the beautiful spider charm. How gorgeous is that? Wow. Okay, so that's with the conch shell. And then for pile 3, you have the rune of joy, and you also have a beautiful lizard. Okay, so that's for pile 3. There we go. So my wonderful souls, thank you so much for being here. Bless you all. Thank you. It is such a privilege to read for you. It really is. And thank you for all your comments. It's a joy to listen to your stories. You've been sharing so much. Beautiful souls, I'm going to leave the video running just for a little bit longer for anyone that wants a little bit of extra time, and I will see you in the readings. Trust your intuition as always. I mean, you are very, very intuitive. I can really hear that in the comments that you are making. So such spiritual beings, beautiful souls, it's a privilege to be here. Thank you for joining me, and welcome to anyone new as well. So I will see you in the readings in just a moment. Hey pile 1, welcome to your reading. Now we are asking Spirit for immediate guidance for you, a message that you need to know about right now, and then we'll kind of look at the week ahead as well. Now I do feel this is a relationship reading of some sort. We have 2 hearts and the rune of Gibo, partnership. The fact that we have 2 hearts would mean that there's probably some kind of an emotional connection or entanglement here in some way. Now plant medicine is a card of truth. It can mean that a truth is being revealed to you, or it can mean that maybe you need to look to see the truth in a situation. But as a general rule, Yibo refers to a one-on-one partnership of some sort. So let's just draw your cards and see what we are shown. Okay, may we have please guidance and a direct message please for pile 1, a message that they need to hear right here and right now. Okay. Okay. Gosh, lots of cards really showing themselves here for you, my beautiful souls. I'm actually going to go with all 3 of those. Okay, so we have soulmate. So we're in the realms of partnership, impatience, okay, and vanity. Okay, this is going to be such an interesting read. This really is. Okay, then we have, let's have a look at these. Then we have conjunction. How interesting is this? So we have conjunction, we have the new pearl, Margarita Preciosa, and then we have Puma, breath. I think you're being asked not to rush forwards with something here. Actually, take your time. Don't rush. Impatience here. Don't be in a hurry. Many paths. Okay. We have the lower world. And we have the ancient ones. Yes. Vanity. How interesting. You know, on the one hand, there is an energy here of, you know, don't hesitate to go forwards. There is something remarkable here for you to embrace, to grasp, to have. A guided connection of some sort. Something really, really magical, potentially, within a connection to somebody, a relationship. At the same time, you're being asked not to hurry it. It's fascinating. I feel there's a really interesting energy, an interesting vibe around this, because the conjunction, it's kind of like take a leap, go for it. Puma, breath, it's like the very essence of creation. You can have this, you can make it happen. So much potential. Many paths is literally take a leap, go for it, don't hold back. And yet, impatience, vanity, this is all about, you know, not rushing into things, allowing things to unfold, emerge, to organically grow. So it's kind of a really interesting, it's like a paradox really of energy in your reading this week. What I do think is really, really clear, pile 1, is that there is a connection, a one-on-one relationship of some sort that is absolutely loaded with potential. It's got everything going for it. I want to say, admit the truth to yourself. Allow yourself to see how amazing this could be. Admit the truth and allow yourself to believe in the possibility of this. That I'm seeing. There's something about stepping out of your comfort zone with this in some way, shape or form, and yet simultaneously not rushing it. I think this is actually a kind of a real acknowledgement. It is. It's admit the truth to yourself. Admit the fact that there is something amazing right in front of you. Don't back away from it and go for it. On the other hand, don't try to prescribe how you think it might be. Let it unfold naturally. Let it emerge. And have fun. There's a really strong energy here of saying, have some fun. Enjoy the journey. This is very interesting. There's been a couple of readings recently with this sort of theme coming through. So if you've been drawn to this reading and you've previously connected in with some others, which was really about stopping and smelling the roses or enjoying the journey, these beautiful daisies here. Plant medicine is a very transformational card. It's incredibly powerful. There's almost something within this connection that can be very, very healing for you. And it does. It feels like you're reading, your message is saying, you know, go for it, take a leap, step out of your comfort zone. Don't remain in your safe zone. There's so much possibility here. This is amazing. You don't have to be afraid. The ancient ones are guiding you. Empower yourself. Don't let any insecurities get in the way. And yet simultaneously, it's like, but don't rush at this. I feel like there's two separate messages, but I don't think they contradict each other. They sort of appear to on the surface, and maybe that's part of what we're being asked to do here when we look at the truth. It might feel like they contradict, but actually they don't. Because if something is really as valuable as this, if it has this much potential, then it should be savoured and treasured every second of every minute of everything. Actually, that's what needs to happen here. It should really be treasured. I think we should draw your tarot cards and see what we're shown. I'm going to use the Crow Tarot today. There's your first card and your second. I'm seeing those two as well. And this, and actually the second one in there. Let's look at these and see what we're showing. So you have the Nine of Pentacles. Well, this is a card of great satisfaction and yeah, great satisfaction. I'm just going to self-satisfaction. Oh, look at this. And then the Six of Wands. Okay. We have the Six of Wands. We have the Queen of Pentacles. We have the Four of Pentacles. We have the Seven of Swords. We have the Three. Let's move this up. We have the Three of Wands as well. Okay. Ah, right. This is making sense here. So pile one, there's actually some sort of a bridge you have to cross. And that's actually now I am understanding your reading. This is why you're being asked to not to rush. There's some sort of a bridge that you have to cross. What is in front of you is as loaded with possibility as it could possibly be. Okay, it is just so full of everything that could be amazing and wonderful. I can't really say any more than that. I can't really stress that enough. It really is. But there is a bridge to cross to get there. Something has to be done or attended to here. There's something that you need to not hold on to or handle it with a little bit of care, a little bit more, what's the language I'm looking for here? Like sort of, I say tact and diplomacy. I don't know that tact is quite right, but diplomacy, handling something thoughtfully here. Something has to be navigated thoughtfully here. Now, you're being called to be generous about something, okay? There's a generosity here. It may be that there is some kind of a financial connection or obligation that needs to be sorted out first in order to then cross that bridge. I'm hearing that saying, you know, when they say, you know, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. And I sort of feel like, in a way, you're being asked actually to be aware of that bridge before you cross it. Not just wait until you arrive somewhere and sort of assume that you'll be able to handle that. There's something that you're needing to attend to first, or it's not even attend to first. There's something that you need to approach with a degree of either diplomacy or thought. Definitely, you need to think it through. Now, there's something amazing here for you. This is a very, very interesting reading. I get this real, like two opposite sort of energies, really. One is like, wow, this is amazing. What are you waiting for? Go for it. The other energy is about, hold your horses. Let's just think about this, because we need to work out how best to approach this. That's what's coming through. There is something you need to do in order to make this happen, and you're being advised here. It's quite clear guidance today to really think about how best to approach this. So it's not that you shouldn't rush in, because in a way everything is saying, yes, you can rush into this. This is amazing. This is a fabulous connection. Whatever this partnership is, it feels like a match made in heaven with so much possibility. I mean, we have the infinity sign here. The new pearl. I mean, this is just loaded with the vibrancy, the essence of kind of, it's the stuff of dreams, whatever the partnership is, whether it is love or whether it's business or whatever it may be. This is a match made in heaven, actually. It really is, whatever that is for you. But there's some sort of bridge to cross, and you're being asked to think very carefully about how you navigate that bridge. That there's something that has to be done, and you're being advised to think about how you approach it. There's definitely an energy that says be generous, with all of these pentacles showing up. So be very generous in your navigating of this. The Six of Wands, we've got bang in the middle, we've got success, we've got, you know, we're seeing you up here. I feel like you can't lose, actually, which is really interesting. So whatever this is, the go for it, you really can't lose. This is going to be a winner. You are going to feel so good about yourself with this when it comes to you, or when it emerges or it happens. You're going to feel fab. But there's something you have to attend to first. It's almost as though the approach to something requires thought. It literally is almost, yeah, how you approach this connection. I'm actually seeing these two cards here as being the connection in the middle here. Okay. How interesting. So I think we've got the energy of someone who is quite self-assured. They've got leadership qualities here. They may even have a bit of a following, really, but they're kind of, there's an inner sense of confidence here. And then we've got this other beautiful energy. Both are beautiful energies. We're looking at a very equal connection, whatever the nature of the relationship. It's a very equal connection. I think both of these people, one of them I'm guessing is you. Both of these people, I think you have a magnificent vision of success for the future. And I think everything here is suggesting that this can happen. It really, really can. We have this lovely Queen of Pentacles here on this throne, looking. Everyone looking at this, and yet there's something that has to be organised over here. So it's almost as though this person is slightly, it's not untouchable, but I think this person, okay, this is a fascinating reading. I didn't see this one coming, but I mean, we never do we? Let's face it, it's the joy of doing readings. I'm going to draw some clarifying cards and we're just going to follow this through and see what we're shown. But I feel we've got two people here. They're very, very, very well matched in whatever this connection, this relationship or partnership would be. And they're different, but they are equally kind of, they meet on equal terms. So you meet this person on equal terms. And there is something to be negotiated or that's being dealt with here that needs to be thought through. And it's like the approach. It's kind of like how you come together, how you cross that bridge. I think this person might be quite new to you. Whichever one of these you are, we'll draw cards to clarify this, but whether you are our Six of Wands or you are our Queen of Pentacles, I actually think both people, person A and person B, person Six of Wands, person Queen of Pentacles, I think you do have a really amazing connection, actually, in whatever this partnership will be. I think you're either new to each other, brand new, and there's a bridge to cross. It's like, how do you make the first move? Or if it's an existing relationship, there's been some distance between you. It could even be a long distance relationship. Maybe you've not been able for some reason to spend time together. But there is definitely a step that needs to be made to make this happen. And you're being asked to think about how you approach that. That's what we're being asked here. So I'm actually going to draw some clarifying cards about these two people. Now, I don't know whether you are person A or person B, but let's see. So person A, Knight of Swords and the Six of Coins. Okay, so person A is genuinely, I think, quite let's say goal orientated, quite successful. This is a successful person. So if this is you, I'm seeing this person is someone who's done well. They've worked very, very hard in a very mind-focused way, quite a logical way. They have a very logical approach. There's quite a logical approach to business. And they are in a position, person A, to be quite generous, I think, to person B. Okay, which is interesting. I think they could be very generous if they wished to, which takes me back to these cards here. We've got the Seven of Swords. There's some thinking to be done about how you approach this, either coming together or getting back together or starting anew or starting afresh. There's a way of doing this. You are being advised not to cling to either. It could well be money. I mean, this is a card of generosity here. We're seeing lots of generosity. And this is a card that says, well, you could be generous, but you could cling to something too. So I think person A has the ability to give something or to be particularly generous to person B. Okay. And there's a request here to think this through, to think about this, or even to think about what this means, okay? If you're person B and you are aware that person A could be very thoughtful and very generous to you if they wish to, person B should actually notice and think about this. Okay, so we're drawing cards for person B. Okay. So we have the Queen of Swords, we've got Queen of Pentacles and Queen of Swords, and then the Three of Swords. Okay, so we've got a bit of heartache here. This is interesting. I feel that this is loaded with potential. I think for some reason person A has the ability to assist person B in some way, shape or form. And person B is the advice, because I don't know whether you're person A or you're person B, but if you're person A, I think you have the ability to assist somebody, person B. And this is all just loaded with the most amazing potential, so it's absolutely gorgeous and very much worthy of the investment, I would have said, in terms of giving. I mean, giving is always worthy of giving, isn't it? Because it's just a wonderful thing to do. Generosity is fabulous. But person B, you're being asked to be almost to become an observer of the situation here, to get quite clear cut about almost what you will accept and what you won't. It's very interesting that we have this sort of figure. Can you see a figure here behind? I think person B, you may have actually, if this is you, beautiful souls, if you are person B, I think you may in the past have experienced some really quite significant heartache. You may have experienced, I think, relationships where people weren't generous to you or weren't giving to you. And I think it's kind of caused you quite a lot of difficulty. And it may be that you are therefore needing to be quite conscious of this dynamic, to think it through here, or to be very, very aware of the fact. I almost want to say not to get tangled in the past either. Not to assume as well that if you were hurt in the past that you'll be hurt again. It's a really interesting dynamic, because I'm seeing very equal terms here in terms of this relationship, but it's as though person A it feels as if person A is in a position where they have more, not more to give, but they're more confident about giving to this connection. The other person, I think, is unsure. And it's not that they are unsure. In a way, they're very solid about what they want. It's this amazing potential, but there's more anxiety around it. That's what I'm seeing. So one person feels much more ready to give. The other person is anxious about something going wrong somehow. And this is why there is a need to approach something thoughtfully, carefully. Let's draw more cards and see what else we are shown for you. May we ask, because this is a weekly reading. This is very interesting reading. It really, really is. We have an amazing connection here. May we ask how pile one should proceed, whether they are person A or person B, but how should they proceed? Could we have really, really clear guidance, if at all possible, particularly for the week ahead? Okay, so King of Wands. Something should definitely be moved forwards. That's absolutely for sure. But in a visible way. Yes. And the Page of Coins. Okay. And the Three of Cups. Okay, this is lovely. What I'm seeing this week is this bridge is being crossed. Think about it carefully. That's really all that you're being asked. Everything needs to be overt and one of those open, transparent conversations where if you like let's say, for example, you're pile A and you could assist pile A. You're I'm moving into my piles. If you're person A and you actually are in a position to assist person B, think about how you approach it, but be totally upfront and honest, so everything is really clear and above board, and there's no room for miscommunication. If you are person B and you're feeling, maybe you're insecure about accepting. I'm seeing this person is very independent. Pile B, person B, I apologise, person B. I think person B has had to really look after themselves in no uncertain terms. It's like the Queen of Pentacles. She's the Queen of self-care. And with the Queen of Swords, I think this person has had to look after him or herself. So if this is you, I think you've seriously had to look after yourself in no uncertain terms. I think you've had to really stand on your own 2 feet. And as a consequence, because I think there's been history where people have not been particularly kind, maybe even to you, or generous to you, there's a reticence to accept. So somehow there's a negotiation that needs to take place, because there's a circumstance in which you can come together and there is a bridge to be crossed. And this is very exciting, whether it is brand new. For some of you, I really do think it's brand new. And it's like, how do you make that first connection? How do you make that first real move? And for others, if it's an existing relationship, it's how do you make the move to get back together, to get back on track, or to take this forwards? Yeah, one of these people is fiercely independent, but I think by necessity. I think this person has had to seriously step up and look after themselves in no uncertain terms. And I think they have, there's been mistrust in the past, because people have gone behind their back or been devious. But you're reading pile 1, whether you are person 1 or person 2, this reading is saying that this is an amazing connection and this can happen. And with the 3 of Cups, I'm seeing that celebration, that coming together, that moment when it's that stepping stone to making this happen and moving it forwards and consolidating it. It's almost like if this was a brand new relationship, or it's someone that you like each other, that's absolutely for sure. And you're wondering how to make that first move, to come together, to have that first date. This is like the most joyous first date, where you just feel so amazing. You just know you want to continue, you want to start writing the book of your life together, because it's just so great. It's this coming together. Yes, it's a young beginning. It's vibrant. It's wonderful. The key here is to be visible about everything, because maybe it's the way you've come together or the way you've met. Maybe there is some financial something, or if you're coming back together, maybe there have been some financial dealings that you're having to sort through. But I think person A, if you're person A, you can move this forwards with generosity. And person B, if you're person B, I think you need to be very aware of the fact that you need to allow yourself to receive. Be honest. Say, I don't quite know. I'm not good at accepting. I'm very independent. I'm not good at receiving. Don't cling, just as person A is being advised here, actually not to cling to something when they could be generous, because this has so much potential. On the other hand, actually, I think person B is being asked, to actually not cling to insecurities, to not cling to this perspective that somehow someone will kind of take advantage of you here. A solution can be found here, and the key is to be completely upfront and fully aware of and voice these feelings, voice these thoughts, voice these fears, voice these feelings. Open, honest transparency with the King of Wands. I mean, this beautiful peacock could not be more visible. So make everything visible, and that's when the healing conversations can happen, and the new beginning and the celebration can take place, however this is for you. Pile 1, this is your reading. How interesting. It really, really is. I hope this has been helpful to you. Very clear messages, actually, whether you are person A or person B. I must actually do a reading at some point soon, I think, about, you know, what does your person think, or what's happening, because this kind of way of working is a lovely reading to do, to look at person A and person B and see what's emerging and see what's happening. But this really is a match made in heaven. So however this emerges and happens, really important. If you're coming back together and you had an argument, it's time to not to dwell on that. Don't cling to this. It's time not to, don't assume it will happen again. With all these threes, 3 of Wands, 3 of Cups, 3 of Swords, you have every potential this week to reach a point of where this moves forwards. The bridge is crossed. The heartache is put behind you. The celebration comes. I mean, this looks to be really, really groovy week for you in this respect. It really does. Pile 1, I'm sending you all the love in the world. Thank you for being here. Welcome to anyone new. If this is resonating with you, beautiful souls, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and if you want to get a notification of any of my readings or any of the other things that I'm doing, I'll be posting some webinars really soon about working with a moon diary. I'll be doing tons and tons of stuff between now and Christmas. So if you would like to get notification, do, if you press the little bell icon as well as the subscribe, then things should come into your stream. And if you don't find that they do, then just check out the Moon Magic Weekly Tarot page and the home page, and you can look at all videos there, and indeed playlists and everything else that I do. Tons and tons and tons of love, beautiful souls. Thank you all so much for being here. Thank you for your comments as well. You guys are amazing. Really love hearing what's happening to you and in your world. It's just lovely. You guys are so open, so amazing, so transparent. So your stories are really, I mean, there's so much integrity in you guys. So I'm very humbled to be here and to be reading for you. Tons of love, Pile 1. Hey, Pile 2, welcome to your reading. We are asking Spirit for an immediate message, and we will look at the week ahead if that's, coming through. Reading 1 was very, very interesting. Now, you have the rune of harvest, Jira. I feel as though there is something you are really being called to attend to here. There really is such a strong message saying stay on track. Don't lose sight of what you are weaving. The conch shell is saying to you, you have an incredible calling for something. You can bring something, I feel, to fruition or harvest. It does require work, but you need to give it your focus somehow. I almost feel there's a kind of an urgency in the energy around this reading. Let's ask for more information. Let's draw your cards. We'll draw your oracle cards first. It's really interesting, almost a sense of it's not frustration. It doesn't feel like a frustration. It does feel like something that's just itching, like an itch that's waiting to be responded to. I know that sounds maybe strange, an itch that needs to be responded to, because it's not even an itch that needs to be scratched, but it's almost like, when you have itchy feet and you just want to move or dance or make something happen, and it's as if there's something that's waiting to happen, absolutely waiting to happen. I'm seeing this card too, and actually I think it's the one on the base, growth. Yes, that figures, doesn't it? Look at this. How interesting. You have the card of growth showing up. You really are at a point where something needs to be followed through with passion. Yes, your passion, a passion needs to be followed through with. This is your destiny. This is your calling. Look at this, destiny, calling, your passion. It's time to grow, the harvest. It's time to make something happen. Bring it to fruition. Really go for it. You have benevolent guide. Look at the bee here, this bee spirit. Isn't that gorgeous? Then you have the card of resin. How interesting. So this is about seeing something, being shown something as well. And then you have Earth's heart. Wow, your cards are stunning. We then have lightning. soul retrieval, and the spiral. Wow, these are such powerful readings this week. This is amazing. There is something around you that you are being called to do. It literally is your calling, your purpose. You're being asked to go for it. Don't hold back in any way, shape or form. You are weaving something. If we think of the spider energy as weaving the web of life, creating, you are a creator. And right now you can actually bring something potentially into harvest, but it feels as though it has such I want to just say such benefit, not just to you, but to others. Don't lose sight of something. If you've started something, if you've started a project or something that you've been doing and the energy dwindled a bit, or you found that you were running out of steam, or you started to doubt your capabilities, this reading is really kind of bringing that opposite message back and saying, don't give up, don't stop, keep going. We're going to show you. You will be guided. There's no question of it. Get still. If you are in that sense, that space of almost, I want to say agitation. You know, a moment ago I was just saying I sort of had this feeling of almost a sense of urgency. Sometimes when we are doing something, I'm wondering if you place pressure on yourself a bit, or you wonder whether what you are bringing forth won't be accepted by other people or won't be good enough for other people, and that kind of stuff in your mind then lowers your own energy and makes you feel less motivated to continue. But everything here is saying, look, you have work to do. Do not slack off this. Do not believe that if anyone has said to you, look, what you're doing isn't worthy, then this reading is saying, please disregard that, because what you're doing is worthy. This is a calling. This is your purpose. This is your destiny. With resin, it's very interesting. Resin is an extraordinary material that many people, artists, use. You know, to create things. They can freeze objects within resin, so you can see them. Even we can find things like insects actually that have been caught in resin, you know, thousands and thousands of years ago, and then you see the resin and it maybe has turned into stone. You get pieces of amber that was once resin, and the insects in it are so clear, they're clear as the day. Very interesting that this bee here is actually slightly misty in comparison to the rainbow colours around it. I actually think that maybe you are feeling a little bit misted, a little bit foggy, feeling as though maybe what you're doing won't be quite good enough, or I think there's a bit of self-doubt maybe, or things have just slacked off a little bit. Now you are about to get a bolt of electricity energetically is being offered to you. And if you are feeling a bit agitated because you're feeling like you ought to be doing it, but it's not moving forwards quickly, just get still. You'll be shown what you need to see. You're going to be guided. You really do have a gift actually to bring forth, and that is incredibly clear. And your gift is very, very unique. And I think you may have a different way of seeing things, a different way of doing things. You may actually be able to bring something forth that's very new, that can bring a lot of healing. The soul retrieval card, I feel, is speaking two different messages to us today in your reading. On the one hand, I think it's saying to some of you that you can really bring about healing for others. The soul retrieval energy, you can pull these different pieces that people are, you know, soul retrieval is really about healing somebody who has ultimately got broken, or healing something that gets broken. We can bring it back together. Soul retrieval brings back those fragments of the soul that depart when we are hurt and damaged. This is also a card though that says if you yourself have been hurt and damaged. You don't need to dwell on that anymore. It is now time to, you know, you've done the work. It's now time to pick up yourself and get going, because the energy here, the spiral energy of creation, the lightning energy of electricity coming, energy coming here to show you and light you, to light you up and show you the way. Whatever you feel called to do, whatever it is that sparks your passion, and it will be unique to you, whatever it is, you are in an amazing position to move this forwards right now. And that's your message from Spirit to start with. This is a time to absolutely pick something up and run with it, irrespective of what other people think. Okay, that's very, very clear. Let's draw now some tarot cards for you as well. Okay, there's your first and your second. May we have additional guidance, please, for my lovely pile twos. I love that the first card that has shown itself is the King of Wands. I mean, the master of creation, really, I always feel. And then you have the Two of Cups. How beautiful. This can really come together. You can pull this off. You have the Nine of Wands. And this is just a validation of absolutely everything that we've actually just said. I will draw cards in a moment and we'll look at the week ahead as well for you to see how that's progressing. But this is just a validation of everything I've said. Because the Four of Swords is just about, let's get still and meditate. If you get still and meditate, almost like a window of possibility will be shown to you, and you'll see exactly what you need to see to move this forwards. The Nine of Wands, you know, you can make this happen. It's just, all you need to do is actually pick it up and kind of run with it. We see this crow picking up one wand on, it's like it will fall into place. It will come together. Just like literally one wand at a time almost. But this is something you can run with. Don't lose sight of the end goal. Keep at it, go for it, but get still and allow yourself to be guided. This is really, really clear. It's not just get up and push, push, push in a kind of, I don't know, human-centric, goal-orientated way. Get still, meditate, and you'll be shown exactly what you need to see in order to then make this happen, to bring your gift forth. And you will be able to achieve this. It'll be your crowning glory. This is a dream come true. You're going to love this. Look at this. The lion sits here. The lion, we have the lion here, and then we have the lion's head here, almost like in the shape of a caduceus, I think it is, which is the symbol that the magician, excuse me, it's the symbol that the magician carries, which is all about alchemy. It's about creation. You can do this, and this is going to be big. Yes, for sure, with the Rune of Harvest, sometimes this even speaks of a period of a year. You know, that it takes a while to get something happening, but this is a time for you to pick it up and run with it. If you have in any way, and I do think some of you have questioned whether it would be well received, maybe even you've shared it with someone and they haven't actually given you the most favourable response, truly, honestly, pick this up, run with it. This is, you have something absolutely amazing to bring forth. This is a calling. It's like Spirit knocking on your door or ringing your doorbell and saying, come on, it's time to go. Let's get this happening, because this really needs to take place. You have something valuable to bring forth. This is your destiny, your calling. This is your purpose. I'm ringing on your doorbell. I'm knocking on your door. I'm calling with the conch shell. It's time to make this absolutely happen. Don't be held back by anything that anybody else thinks. Pick this up, run with it. And if you have any kind of moments of wobble, then just pause, meditate, and literally a window of opportunity will pop up for you. You'll see exactly what you need to see in order to then move this forwards. Your message is really clear, pile 2. It could not be clearer, but let's ask about the coming week for you. We have the Wheel of Fortune. Maybe ask about the coming week. We have the Ten of Cups. You're going to have a good week. The Hierophant. Oh my goodness me. I want your week, pile 2. May I have your week, please? That would definitely do me good. I'd love your week. And then you have the Ten of Wands. How interesting. Okay. Now, the Wheel of Fortune, it really is time that things can start. I think the energy can shift. And can you see here in this Wheel of Fortune, we have a spider's web. And there you have this beautiful spider. You have a spider's web, okay? This is lovely. You're going to love this. You're going to really enjoy this. This is going to come together. Make a commitment. The Ten of Cups is all about a commitment. Make a commitment to this project, this whatever it is. Make a commitment to it and be prepared to follow it through. The Hierophant, you will be guided. Listen to your higher self. Listen to your inner self. Listen to your guides, your angels. Get still, meditate. This is sitting with the Four of Swords. Get still and meditate. You're going to be guided to know exactly what to do. Now, what I do feel with the Nine of Wands and the Ten of Wands as well here is that this is kind of indicating that you can crack this. Can you see the skull is literally cracked? The tree, the fern, has grown through it. And this is very interesting because this does look like a fern, these fern leaves. Ferns are about new beginnings, new vitality. And we're seeing these, looks like fern leaves unfolding. I think during this week, this coming week, it's going to begin to unfold. Please don't pressure yourself. Don't burden yourself with too many thoughts of it not happening quickly enough. Take it one wand at a time, literally. You'll be guided. This is the real key here, that guidance is going to be given to you so that you'll know exactly what step to take. All you actually need to do is make a commitment to moving this forwards, and then at each step that you're shown, literally get still. If you don't meditate in an ongoing way, you know some people meditate very, very regularly, and other people sort of dip in and out of it. You might want to actually adopt a new meditation regime, for example, and get up, I don't know, 10 or 15 minutes earlier in the day just to have that 10-minute meditation to keep you on track. I think you'll be shown everything you need to see to move something forwards. But it's absolutely time to take action and not in any way be complacent and not be dissuaded by anyone else's perspectives to do what you feel they would want you to do, or to have your own project and your own pathway diminished because you think it won't be acceptable or that somebody else won't see it as being valuable. This really is a week to take hold of something that is very, very unique to you and absolutely run with it, without also simultaneously placing pressure on yourself. Meditate and allow Spirit, Source, your guides, your angels to absolutely guide you, to show you step by step what you need to do, and it will unfold for you. It really, really will. This is a beautiful, beautiful energy and a beautiful reading. This literally is a knocking on your door, a ringing on your doorbell, a calling for you. It's fabulous. Pile 2. Have the most productive week ever. And if there is any moment of self-doubt at any time, press the pause button, meditate. Go out for a walk in nature, do a walking meditation, but whatever you do, open yourself to receive guidance, because you will be shown exactly what you need to see in order to move this forwards. Pile 2, I am loving your reading. Beautiful souls, thank you so much for being here. It's such a privilege to read for you. It really, really is. Thank you for liking, sharing and subscribing. And if you are enjoying the readings and if they're resonating with you, if you subscribe and press the little bell icon, whenever I post a reading, it should come into your stream. And truly, if you're not getting them, I've never understood the algorithms on YouTube. If you check out the Moon Magic Weekly Tarot homepage, you can find all of the videos there as I upload them. Beautiful souls, I'm sending you all the love in the world. You know, do keep us posted, do comment. Thank you for your comments. It's wonderful to read your stories, and so many of you share with such, I mean, you guys are really amazing people. You really, really are. You know, there's so much integrity here. I'm really blown away by all of you, actually. I really am. So thank you so much, all of you. Thank you for your comments. Oh, and thank you those of you as well. Some of you have been giving back through the super thanks in the comments, and thank you. That really is absolutely gorgeous of you, and it all helps for me to, well, to maintain the channel. So just thank you so much from the bottom of my heart, all of you. Pile 2, have an amazingly productive week, whilst also having periods of stillness in order to be shown exactly what you need to see when you need to see it. Tons of love. Hey Pile 3, welcome to your reading. You have the card East Emergence. You have the Lizard, which is all about the energy of the dream time, and you have Wunjo, the rune of joy. This is like a new dawn. It's the sun rising. It's carried across the gap by the wings of heaven. It's a space of profound new beginnings, of opportunities. The mist clears, the sunshine lights up the sky. I mean, wow. The energy of your reading is mind-blowing, actually. What are you emerging from? What's happening in your world? Let's find out. Let's ask for your most important and immediate message from Spirit for you right now, Pile 3. And we will also potentially look at the week ahead for you as well. So let's draw your oracle cards first. May we please have the most important message for Pile 3. Thank you very much. Thank you. And we will draw these little oracle cards as well. May we have information. I'm seeing this little one here. May we have guidance and an immediate message for Pile 3, please. May we have an immediate message for Pile 3, please. Okay, let's see what we have. So, you have completion, you have joy again, and you have insecurity. What is this about, Pile 3? You've got amazing joy, you've got something that has come to an end, and yet you are feeling insecure about it. Okay. What is this about? Joy and joy. I mean, that's pretty awesome, isn't it, really? You couldn't have more joy, really. You've got the Ancient Ones. So whatever's going on in your world, it's being guided. Okay, you have the Coyote and you have the Vision Quest. So you really are being encouraged to set forth on something, to embark on your emergence and some new beginning. You've got Fog. Okay. So what is clouding your judgment at the moment? You've got Chaos, Massa Confuser. Okay. And then you have this beautiful benevolent guide, Spiritus Rector, this beautiful bee spirit. Okay, so you really are setting forth on a bit of a new adventure, my beautiful Pile 3. That's what I'm seeing here. And I think your emotions are playing tricks on you. That's what I think. I think everything is going for you, actually, if I'm honest with you. This new quest, this new mission. However, I think the Coyote energy is it's trickster energy, actually. I just feel like your mind is playing tricks on you. That's what I'm really seeing in your reading. It's like for some reason you are feeling like you're not worthy, or maybe there's a bit of imposter syndrome for some of you. There is a fabulous new opportunity emerging. I think it's already right in front of you. I don't think this is something new. I don't think this is a sudden surprise coming to you. This is right in front of you already. And yet for some reason Your insecurities, those little voices in your head that say, oh, you might not be very good, or it may even be that someone has said something to you that left you feeling a bit like you've got some self-doubt going on here. This may not be possible, but this is a wonderful new opportunity. You're off on a quest, you're off on a new adventure. And this is loaded with joy. Something has triggered your insecurities. It comes from the past, and you are really clearly being asked to lay it to rest and put it down. Put it to bed once and for all. This is so clear, you're reading pile 3. Curiously enough, you know, in a way, your reading is actually sort of also saying that in the midst of the fog, the confusion, the insecurity, the fears that it won't work out, you don't actually have to take massive action here beyond putting down the fears, because this is actually getting sorted. It's guided. It's going to happen. If somebody has stepped in and left you feeling as though, I don't know, maybe even for some of you, someone threw you a curveball or dropped a bit of a bombshell in your world. Though predominantly what I see is a major opportunity in front of you, and I think it is in front of you. Predominantly, if I'm honest, for most of you, I see more of a sense of insecurity. But if somebody has fed your insecurities, back to imposter syndrome, if someone said something to you and it suddenly left you feeling loaded with self-doubt, everything here is saying, look, you can't fix other people. What you do need to do is to fix yourself. You know, put those insecurities down. This is an opportunity that you've dreamed of, and it is emerging. And what is beautiful and gorgeous is it's going to emerge irrespective of your insecurities. I almost feel like the universe is about to prove you wrong in terms of those insecurities, which is kind of really delightful, isn't it? Because it's, you know, I'm not suggesting in any way that we wish to do battle with the universe, but of course we're not really. We do battle with ourselves. Your reading is really, really clear. This is emerging. You're going to discover that it's actually just wonderful. This quest you're on, it's joyous. So whatever has triggered your insecurities, my beautiful pile 3, please consider putting them down. Your reading is a real affirmation of exactly that. That's your first primary message. Let's draw some more cards for you. Let's draw some tarot cards now. May we have information for my beautiful pile 3s. And we'll look at those cards first. Oh, actually, the card from the top has popped up, the Tower. Okay. Literally, as I put the pack down, it slid off at the top. Right, the changes, this is happening. This is going to happen one way or the other. Do you know what? You can embrace it and enjoy it, or you can give yourself a hard time. Excuse me. Try and relax into this a little bit. Truly. Try and relax a bit. This is happening. The new beginning is coming. You know, it really is. Out of the chaos, a stunning new emergence is happening, and it's fabulous for you. It really, really is. You're going to reach a point where you have more than enough to share. I mean, look at this. We have the Knight of Cups and the Page of Cups, and also the Page of Pentacles. So we've got 2 pages. This is, again, really a good indication of that the newness. You're stepping into something that feels very new, and it's loaded with potential. Absolutely loaded with potential, and you're going to find your feet really, really quickly. It's going to move forwards quickly. You're going to acclimatise, bed in, you know, it's got that feel about it. So just relax into this. Your insecurities are could give you a very hard time, or alternatively, you could just relax into this. recognize that this is, you know, whatever the chaos around you, the moment of chaos, whatever the fog, this is actually going to lift. It really is. Your key role in this, and Spirit is voicing it, is to stop worrying and stop, you know, try and lay down those insecurities, because the joy is on its way. And you are going to love, absolutely love, where you're going. You really, really are. I think it is right in front of you. I don't think this is new. I think it's something that has already been presented to you or given to you, the opening, the east emergence. The doorway is already in front of you. That, I think, you know, the window is in front of you, but don't keep it closed. Don't let your insecurities sort of box you in and stop you from being able to embrace all of the potential here. You're going to love this, and you're going to find your feet. It will be like, what's that saying about riding a bicycle, isn't it? When you get back on a bicycle, it's the saying, isn't it? You just, if it's something you've done before, you think it's going to be really difficult, and then you get back on and it's just easy. It's like riding a bike. This is going to be like riding a bike. Like even though it's brand new to you, it will be as easy as that. It will be such a good fit for you that you're not, excuse me, you're not going to have to, excuse me, I can get a glass of water, bear with me. Yeah, you're going to find this is such a good fit that you are, it will be like getting back on a bike after years and years and years. It'll be that easy. When you thought you were going to wobble all over the place, you get back on and you're halfway down the road and you're just there already. Or you're like, why was I worrying about this? This is totally cool and totally fine. And you honestly are going to love this. At the moment, I think for most of you, what's coming through, I think, is more the chaos of your mind, the sort of fears and doubts about how this is going to work out. But it's going to work out in the most beautiful way, and you're going to be guided, supported. So, you know, and the change is happening absolutely irrespective of your worrying. So your worrying is not aiding and abetting the situation, really. It's simply adding to a stress level, actually. I always think it's useful to contemplate, you know, and this is a card of contemplation. You know, a worry is a really focused thought. You know, when we set our intentions, that is a focused thought. If you say a prayer, that is a focused thought. The difference is, of course, that when you say a prayer or set an intention, your focused thought is on something you want. When you worry, your focus is on something that you don't want. So it's quite valuable to really check in on your thoughts. And I mean, I know that's easier said than done. I acknowledge that as well. I have to admit, I used to have some really significant negative thinking patterns. And I'm not saying I never drift into them, because I think we do. We're human, aren't we? We just do. But when I first honestly pressed the pause button and started listening to my thoughts, I was horrified at, you know, how much I was going over past stuff in anticipation almost of things going wrong. I really quite shocked myself at the time. And I had to really work very hard to put some of those things down. I'm not saying they don't appear from time to time, but, you know, that's part of being human. But in all honesty, it's very different when we begin to move away from those things, if we can. It really helps to keep that clarity of mind, to put down those worries, so that because in a way we create more chaos and we create more fog through those sort of internal thinking patterns that can become really repetitive, and also even those internal patterns. You know, your thoughts generate emotions, and your emotions then generate thoughts, and we can get into a really big loop, actually, which can be quite, well, again, very foggy, really, and very confusing. Let's draw more cards for you, pile 3, and look at the week ahead. May we please ask, how is this week going to pan out, please, for my lovely pile 3s? May we have guidance as to how the week is panning out for my lovely pile 3s. I am seeing this one. Okay, I think it's that one actually for you, and this one too, yes. So, how is pile three's week panning out? So Page of Swords. How lovely. You've got Page of Pentacles, Page of Cups, and now you've got the Page of Swords as well. Look at this. You can climb this. You're going to be shown the way, actually. You're going to, literally, it will be like walking up a set of steps. You're going to be shown the steps here. We have the Queen of Coins. Yeah, look after yourself while you're doing this. Okay, this is a week to kind of have a clear mind, set your intentions. Queen of Swords. Okay. Take it step by step. Okay. This new venture, this emergence, take it step by step. Be very big on your self-care, but also very resolute and firm with yourself simultaneously. So if, for example, your mind is playing tricks with you, just be very firm with it. I honestly, I have regular site meetings with myself. Just, you know, I have words with myself sometimes because I need to, actually. I have to be quite firm with myself sometimes. And I just think it's quite a good way of, I can then laugh about it, which is a very good way of navigating things. That if my mind is kind of wandering into, I don't know, a bad neighborhood, I can kind of have a site meeting with myself, put a red traffic light up and, you know, have a pause and have a conversation and kind of sort that out. And it's actually quite helpful to do that. Nine of Cups. You are going to come through this week with a sense of actually genuinely a good feeling about this. You know, when you have a good feeling, and you then have the Death card, which is wonderful because this is the transformation, this is the rebirth. So something will transpire this week. We know with the Tower, I mean, you've got the Tower and the Death card. You don't get bigger cards of transformation. So the transformation is coming anyway. The new beginning is coming anyway. The key here for you to enjoy the transition rather than be fearful of it or anxious about it or confused, or, you know, that imposter syndrome keeps coming in here. It's really, this transformation is coming, and you're going to literally, we've got the Page of Swords climbing up this step by step, sort of moving forwards. Self-care, be firm with yourself. If you can get that level of self-mastery, you're actually going to really enjoy this, okay, with the Nine of Cups. There's a celebration, a sense of, yeah, absolutely, a celebration, a commitment, moving something forwards. That transformation point is coming. It is suggesting it's coming this week. And the Three of Wands, I'm seeing you climb that ladder. So for example, if this reading was applying to you and you've just got a promotion and you're beginning to go down that road of, I don't know, of imposter syndrome, for example, and thinking, oh, I won't be good enough, or somebody said something and it's made you feel like you won't be good enough. Your reading is actually saying to you, look, just move forward step by step, be very big on your self-care, be very firm with your own mind. Know your true worth. Something is shifting this week. And of course, we're seeing you literally climb that ladder, that promotional ladder. So whatever this is for you, my gorgeous pile 3, this is a stunning week for you. That's what we're seeing here. A really, really amazing week. Pile 3, keep us posted, but really the biggie is the self-doubt. I'm not saying that for some of you somebody might not have triggered it or said something. I mean, going back to that example, if you have been promoted, you know, somebody, a colleague might have made a comment to you, but if they've made a comment, it's probably because they're envious of the fact that you're moving forwards, and perhaps they're not, you know, so that's their stuff, it's not yours. So, you know, don't buy into that, beautiful souls. Your reading is really, really clear, and the week is going to go well, actually. It literally is about taking this step by step, climbing that ladder, because you're certainly going to be climbing that ladder of success, actually, is what we're seeing. Pile 3, loving your reading, loving the energy. I mean, the joy coming through here. Joy and more joy. This is your reading. Joy is coming your way. It's going to happen one way or the other. So you can literally enjoy the transition, or if you kind of let your mind run riot, you will enjoy the transition less. I think that's the kind of key here. But you do have a bit of a choice, and I know it's hard to put these things down. If you truly are tangled, really, really deeply tangled in, I don't know, really, really negative thinking, or your emotions and your mind get stuck in a significant loop, you may want to check out a book called, it's my book actually, I'm voicing it. It's called Mindfulness Meets Emotional Awareness, because it will tell you about the different thinking patterns that are associated with different emotions, because there literally are very specific thinking patterns are triggered by different emotions. But what tends to happen is that the emotion can trigger the thinking pattern, or the thinking pattern can trigger the emotion, but they get into a loop that it sort of generates more. So the more the emotion is generated, the more the thinking pattern gets worse, and the more the thinking pattern gets worse, the more the emotion gets bigger, and so on and so forth. And it's a really useful book actually. And if you check out every chapter is a different emotion, and it will tell you all about those thinking patterns. And also there are exercises to really help you to shift them and really turn it around. So do check out that book. I will put the link into the description box and the pinned comment if that's something that might be helpful to you. And I have a totally big, huge free online library as well, the A to Z of emotionalhealth.com. And that's a completely free resource. There's a ton of stuff in there, and meditations as well to assist in understanding emotions and emotional release as well. So do check out all of that, pile 3, if that's helpful to you. Beautiful souls, thank you for joining me today. If this is resonating with you and you're enjoying the reading, do like, share, subscribe, and if you subscribe, press the little bell icon as well, and then hopefully everything will come into your stream as soon as I post it. And you can always just check out the Moon Magic Weekly Tarot homepage and check out the videos. You'll always be able to find everything that I'm posting over there. So beautiful souls, thank you. Have an amazing week. Congratulations on this emergence and on your forthcoming joy. That is amazing. And I'm just sending you the biggest hug ever. Keep us posted in the comments. And thank you all of you as well who are giving back as well through the super thanks in the comments. You are truly, truly, truly appreciated. Pile 3, have an amazing week. Tons and tons of love.